Welcome everybody to Forza Motorsport 6, and today we're taking a look at the 2015 BMW X6M. Now this is what BMW calls a sports activity coupe, so basically a sporty coupe that has some off-road capability, and I can fully get behind an idea like that. There's nothing wrong with a car that can do two things perfectly well, like the 2012 Porsche Cayenne Turbo, which is the car we're going to be comparing this car against. That's a car that can go off-road and go around the track really rather well as well. So yeah, going to compare that car to this. So firstly, the looks. Not a fan of them, to be honest. Now I don't like the way the Cayenne looks either, but this just looks a bit too fussy, to be fair. At least the Cayenne is an SUV in looks. This just looks like it wants to be everything all at once. A coupe, an off-roader, even a sports vehicle as well by the front of it. Now I don't mind the front of it at all, really. It's only really the bumper that I have a problem with. It's just way too fussy. There's so many lines and creases in it that you just never know really what it's trying to get across. But the front interior space is pretty decent. There's certainly plenty of equipment in there that you'd expect from a top of the range BMW, though it all falls apart in the rear because of the rear sloping roof. If you show you here, the space between the headrests and the roof line is really rather woeful. You'd have to be a really rather short person to get into this car and be comfy. Though boot space is fairly decent, and being a hatch, you could put those seats down and have plenty of space in the back. So yeah, rear boot space is good, but rear person space, if you know what I mean, is really rather woeful, to be fair. Though where this car isn't woeful is in the engine department, because it has a 4.4 litre V8 engine which has two turbochargers on it, producing 567 horsepower and 553 pounds-feet of torque. Now that's 67 horsepower more than the Porsche and 37 pounds-feet of torque more than the Porsche as well. So yeah, that's a hell of a lot of power in a car like this, and it certainly helps it shift, which is a surprise considering how much this car weighs. It weighs 5,185 pounds. So quite a heavy vehicle. That's actually 401 pounds more than the Cayenne. So yeah, that's a whole lot of weight in a car that's supposed to be a sports car. But yeah, to see what this car's really like, we're going to take it out onto the track and see what it can do. So see you when we get there. Welcome to Sonoma Raceway. We're going to take this car around on the first lap and talk through it on the second lap. So yeah, despite this car weighing as much as it does on the whole handle its weight really rather well, though you do get the feeling that if it was lighter it would be a better car, and if it was lower as well it would be able to handle that weight better as well, which kind of shows in its acceleration times, which on its own look really rather decent. 0 to 60 4 seconds, 0 to 109.816 seconds, which is fairly decent for a 5,000 plus pound car. But compare it to the KM, which has less power and that 401 pound less in terms of weight, and yeah, that's really does nail this car in terms of shooting it dead, quite frankly, because that car also does 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, but it does 0 to 109.7 seconds, so that's 0.116 seconds quicker than this, and that car has way less power, and that's just because that car has less weight. 400 pounds is a hell of a lot of weight, and yeah, I just don't know why this car is as heavy as it is. Sure, it's a newer car and it's bound to have more equipment than that Porsche, but I don't see it being 400 pounds worth. And yeah, you just get the feeling that if this car had lower ride height and less weight, it would be a whole lot better. Which just gets me onto the point that if you wanted a 5-seater sports car, then go for an M5. It's quicker than this, it's better looking than this, it handles better than this, and yeah, it's more of a sports car than this is anyway. And the real nail in the coffin is the fact that this car doesn't even really go off-road all that well. Yeah, the Porsche is as good at handling a car like this, as in the fact that they both have the same stats, 3.9 handling each and 4.2 braking, but that car can go off-road, so you can really forgive it for that handling. This apparently can't. And with the Porsche weighing less, it's a far more nimbler car as well. You really do feel that 400 pound extra weight on this car when you drive the KN before it. So yeah, I just see this car as pointless, quite frankly. It's too much of a off-road vehicle to be any good on the track, and it's too much of a vehicle concentrating on being sporty to be any good off-road as well. So it's just, yeah, no good in either area as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's decent in terms of a straight line, but besides that, it's pretty woeful, and yeah, really rather pointless. If you wanted a sports car, go for a sports car. If you want an off-road vehicle, go for an off-road vehicle that can also do this kind of thing as well. But why you'd go for this over the likes of a KN or Range Rover Supercharged, or even that Range Rover SVR, I don't know. But yeah, just yeah, really rather pointless. But yeah, decent to see it in the game nonetheless. It does kind of show that BMW aren't perfect all the time. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.